What's the difference between a migration agent and a migration lawyer is the subject of today's East Central Business Show. I'm John Naylor, joined by Bruce Kimball. Thank you very much for coming back in to talk to us some more, Bruce.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, okay. Now, let's get on with it. Difference between a migration lawyer and an agent. You're an agent, so how do you fit into the picture?
Where do I fit? Well, at the moment, in terms of the legislation, no one can give, the only people who are allowed to give migration assistance are migration agents.
Oh, okay.
It's a regulated industry, and everyone needs to be registered with the registering authority, which is Migration Agents, MARA. We know it as MARA. There is a proposal before the Parliament at the moment whereby lawyers are going to not need to go through that process by being a professional registered lawyer. The argument is that they're all-knowing, all-seeing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And therefore are able to provide migration assistance. Migration agents, if the bill passes, migration agents will remain, but I have a feeling sometimes that we're a bit of a threatened species.
Oh, okay.
Prospective clients want the confidence that, I guess, going to a lawyer offers them, as distinct from a migration agent. I have a number of migration lawyer colleagues, and we work very closely together, and I think migration law is a specialist area within the Australian law structure as it is structured. I like to think it's specialist areas, and I would encourage lawyers to pursue that line.
Oh, okay. So where does migration lawyers fit into the current schema, though? Because we often hear that, you know, the battle for someone to stay in the country or get a visa or citizenship or whatever becomes a matter before the courts. Migration lawyers, are they in that step up category? Is that where they place themselves at the moment?
Well, it's probably difficult for me to speak for lawyers, as I'm not.
Where do you see them in the current geography?
Where I see them at the moment, they need to be registered with MARA for them to provide migration assistance.
Okay. The penny's finally dropped for me at the moment. So at the moment, if they want to be in the migration law business, they've got to be registered with MARA, and they're saying no, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, and I understand a lot of law firms have a little room somewhere where they have their people do the migration business as a subset of their law firm. It works for them.
Oh, okay.
But I would argue the overheads of a lawyer are probably a lot higher, and therefore if someone was to engage the services of a migration lawyer, they would have to be looking at substantially higher fees than perhaps what a migration agent would charge. Yeah,
okay. So there's DIY, obviously try to do it yourself, navigate the minefields we talked about in a previous video. And then obviously then if they're making a decision, like they're saying migration lawyer, migration agent. I mean, at the moment, you're sort of fulfilling the same sort of role, correct me if I'm wrong, and there's just a price point difference.
There's a price point difference.
For me to dumb it down.
No, well, dumbing it down, there is a price point difference, but I have to say there are matters that I don't want to deal with. There are matters I'm not capable or qualified to deal with. A lot of these matters can be very legally complex, and I would encourage and advise clients, if I'm not feel capable or competent, I would be the first person to suggest that they obtain the services of a migration lawyer.
Oh, okay. Because you get probably quite a lot of inquiries across a range of migration challenges, and there's some you say that's not for me.
Well, protection visas, for example, the refugees, legally complex, time-consuming, and obviously very expensive. I don't do protection visas, and I've only had a couple of inquiries which I've managed to on-refer.
Oh, okay, okay.
If a matter is being, if a visa application has been refused, recourse to the tribunal in terms of review, more than able or capable of pursuing a tribunal review application. But if the tribunal application upholds the department's decision, the next level is through the courts. Okay. And at that point, obviously, lawyers...
You need to be represented, yeah?
Absolutely. And I know a number of quite experienced very experienced, very capable, very expensive migration lawyers.
Okay, for the
I'd be
people
very happy to refer.
Okay, tremendous. All right, so anyway, so what you're telling me is if you're looking at some sort of migration problem, an agent such as yourself is a great place to start.
Absolutely.
And with integrity, there's the ones operating in the right sort of space in that, like yourself, are going to refer on if it becomes legal, becomes too complex, it becomes something that really becomes a complex legal matter.
It's something that I would have to make my own decision that I'm not comfortable. If I'm not comfortable pursuing a matter, if I think it's beyond my capabilities, I'm legally obliged to refer it to some other authority, some other agent who is able and capable.
Oh, okay, and that's it. And that's, I know that you personally, so I know that's something you do anyway.
Absolutely.
You don't want anything too complex or questionable on your books.
Well, I think I'd be a bit uncomfortable taking someone's money and knowing that I wasn't qualified or capable of representing them.
And there's something within the code of conduct that sort of demands that anyway.
Absolutely.
So there's a double layer of protection.
It's a point I haven't made previously is in terms of the legislation. The migration agents are fairly unique in the professions in that we have a code of conduct which we are required to comply with. But the interesting point about the code is that compliance with the code is actually in the migration legislation. So professionally, if we breach the code, we're actually breaching the legislation.
Oh.
And that's not the case with many other professions. We're fairly unique in that area.
Yeah.
So be very careful.
There's a liability issue in there by the sound of it.
Professional liability.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, anyway, it sounds like you're morally obliged. It's something you do anyway,
And
Bruce.
You're legally obliged.
Yeah, fabulous. Bruce, okay, how do people find you?
Look, I think the best way is to Google Bruce Kimball Migration Services. You'll find a link to my website, and through that, I'm sure you can contact me.
A wealth of information on supply there as well at your website. Bruce, thank you very much for coming in to speak to us again on the East Central Business Show.
Thank you, John.
Okay, we're all done for another episode. We'll speak to you next time. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the East Central Business Show. What we're looking to do across the East Central Business Show is bring to you the very best content from great people with really informative knowledge to share. It's something that you can listen to in the car. Don't watch it obviously when you're doing that, but we're looking to really bring value to you across LinkedIn, YouTube, podcastable content, so it's really great and informative business knowledge. So please tune in as much as you can. Now, the great ways to follow us, you can register on the database, make contact with us, and we'll put your email in. We're going to tell you each month what great videos will come out and just give you a curated version through the East Central magazine, where we're going to send you the most popular videos for the month. The other thing we can do is obviously invite you to connect with us on LinkedIn, linked up with myself, John Naylor. And the other thing, of course, is look up John Naylor on YouTube and subscribe to our channel there.